strong views, which I agree with, to be honest with you, regarding the culture. I know you was getting some heat online about that, and I wanted you to kind of speak your mind and talk the things from your perspective. My perspective, for me as a person that went to school, etc., in Jamaica, you know, have a passion for making sure that I contribute back to, whether it be my old school, whether when I go back to the farm, whether, you know, I have a passion to make sure that I do more than just sit down and go for a holiday, and you know what I mean? I do a little bit more than that. However, you know, different people look at their way of contributing, giving back, etc., differently. So I want you to speak your thing. Wayne, if you don't mind, bro, hold 1 second, let Raul say his thing, and then we can have a discourse, we can have a convo. That good? All right, brother. Raul, your time.
So I've the reason why my how I come with my perspective is because I of course, I grew up in Jamaica. I've when it comes to culture, I was a teacher in Jamaica. While I was a teacher, I used to bring kids to JCDC, which is the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission's annual competition. You know, in August, you know, when you go town, I do poem, dance, whatever. So and I was a child, and as a high school student was involved in that. I also, my first time abroad was when I was in the US. I was Jamaica's intern to the Inter-American Development Bank's intern program. I made it very smart when I was young. Now what happened to me now? And then
no, you were still well spoken, bro.
And then I also lived in Japan for a very long time. I was a member of the JET program, Japan Exchange and Teaching program. So I've been able to be a Jamaican in Jamaica and also see Jamaica's worth overseas. I've been in rooms where I have been the interpreter, whether it's from Japanese to English or Spanish to English or French to English. I've been an interpreter in rooms where the information is about Jamaica and Jamaican culture. And I've seen a lot being made from Jamaican culture for people who have nothing to do with the culture. And I've seen the culture being taken advantage of. Case in point, the One Love Bob Marley Festival in Tokyo, Yoyogi Park, a year time. It took me years to find out that Jamaica or Bob Marley Foundation gets nothing from it. They're just using the name. I always thought the One Love Festival was about Jamaicans and making a lot of money. I realized in my 4th year that all of the money is going to the Japanese promoters, and that even Davida Prendergast, for those who know Davida Prendergast, that's Bob Marley's granddaughter, she had to pay for her booth at the Bob Marley One Love Festival, which is ridiculous to me, you know. But the Japanese, for example, the thing with Jamaica, anybody who comes to Jamaica who looks foreign will say, yo, come. You know, just come. You know, if you have any, you don't have to be good. You don't have to have any contribution. You just like the culture. So the standard for outside people to come in is very low. And I've seen with my eyes both dancers and selectors who've come to Jamaica. Hold on, turn on the stove off. I'm mackerel burn up. Hold on. I never turn off it in mackerel. So I've seen where dancers and DJs from Japan who come to Jamaica get a hype immediately, and then go back to Japan, and then as soon as they go to Japan, they start an industry from their short experience. The reason why you're able to start an industry from an experience is because the people in that culture validate you. The thing is with Jamaicans, we don't let people prove themselves to validate them. You're a foreigner, you like it, take it, go on. Now, what I've seen with my own eyes is these same people going to Japan in Osaka and Sendai and having events where they basically exclude Jamaican artists and dancers from the event. The Japanese reggae market has blacklisted so many Jamaicans in Japan. It was a very sad thing as a Jamaican in Japan to witness just how actual Jamaicans are treated within the multi-billion yen industry. So I have been able to see how they've done that. They have taken our culture and now they're gatekeeping it from fellow Jamaicans. Me living in Japan, if me want to take part in an archery or tea ceremony, I have to perfect that. For me to work with the Japanese country as an interpreter, my Japanese had to be good. You know, my liking of Japanese culture couldn't get me in there. But in terms of Jamaica, just liking the culture, you let everybody in, and that is the problem with us. We don't have any standards, and everyone else has standards. Everyone else has standards and respect. Our culture is the only culture I've encountered. You know, black diasporic cultures are the only cultures I've encountered without any means of entry. And I'm speaking for someone who has traveled a lot and was read, researched Jamaican culture and world culture in at least 6 languages. And it's just sad that ours is just, you know, yeah.
So then, how would you gatekeep it? Now, if we're talking about not just Jamaican but diaspora cultures, how would we gatekeep that? You know, and so you get an artist that is mediocre, because you know, but mediocre, but has an opportunity to be viral on the basis of maybe how they look, how they dance. It's not you understand, and you can't say to that person, "Don't do your thing."
No.
So how?
No.
You gatekeep it. How do you can't really stop them from doing it.
No. And my thing is we can't stop them. And the thing is, the gatekeeping doesn't come from their point, it comes from ours. You see, gatekeeping allows whenever you have enough respect for your culture that you have expectations, and anyone who loves that culture must rise to the level of it. For example, a Japanese or white man who goes to Jamaica and go pasa, come used to dance and I pass, go there and welcome dance, and completely offbeat, but because them love it. They have been promoted and gotten more attention than actual Jamaicans who can dance and DJ from long time. I thought from I got dance back in the day. And your own people is actually good at something. You kinda keep them down, but somebody who's mediocre. The thing is, gatekeeping starts with having the respect for your culture enough to expect that people will have to have some level of performance to be a part of it. So the gatekeeping starts with not any actual laws, but a national covenant that yes, it's our culture. We love it so much, and because we love it, we can't just fly up over somebody because of them color. Because we can't do that to Japan, we can't do that to Sweden, we can't do that to Australia. We have to perfect their culture to be a part of it. So let's start with respecting the culture and understanding that everyone has an ulterior motive. Everyone. So don't just come and say because the Japanese are the white man here, so and so. They have ulterior motive. One last story I want to tell. In 2099, the Jamaica dancehall competition, you know, Junko Kudo, the Japanese girl who win. When she win, everybody in Jamaica was so excited and said, "Why?" You know, she danced. But now, as an adult, me and some of my friends them who in the dancehall community, and I say, "No, so Junko could really dance." I'm say, "Me go back all pan. She couldn't dance. Junko couldn't dance. She one Japanese girl who a boom boom on the stage." And now I said to myself in the last year, I want to find the girls Jamaican girls who entered and apologize to them, because me look on them, I say, "Look on them girl, yeah." But as bad as them bad grew up in Jamaica and perfecting dancehall dance and stuff, they weren't good enough compared to a Japanese person who was this kind of novelty and very mediocre. Because I've seen Junko perform in Japan and I say, "Is she even dancehall?" You know, so as an adult you get to see things with a different perspective.
So that's very true. So when you look at, so we look at the perspective of these things. We look at, you know, with hindsight is 2020 always, right? And we say, well, that person couldn't dance, or that particular selector wasn't that great, but got the forward in the dance because we was looking at them and the novelty, etc., etc., etc. Now, so I have a thing that I don't believe we value what we have until we see it elsewhere, and then we almost try and chase it and say, "Boy, I'm gonna try to teach it and and them never know this," you know, and
like Bob Marley and Miss Lou, two good examples.
And I believe that we need to start valuing it and recognizing that there is so much to it and so much richness within our Caribbean and our individual island cultures. There was a guy, Wayne, I don't know if you remember the guy called White Chocolate. A few years back, he used to, white guy. He was going around. Go back to 2019. Sorry?
I gathered that. He's a white guy, white chocolate.
Yeah. So he was going into all the soca raves and just whining. You remember the brother?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Keep going.
He went around the whole look, brother. I went to St. Vincent, Trinidad, Barbados. I went all over the place, and you'd be in a fete, and they'd be like, "Yo, we're bringing on white chocolate," and he'd do his thing.
He got booked.
He was booked and busy, and then eventually
he couldn't dance to it. He never had a rhythm at all.
But then he did a podcast and then said he's giving exposure to the culture, and then everybody turned. But this goes back to
permission.
Sorry, Wayne, you're looking like you want to say something, bro. Jump in.
Wait, no. Is my man done talking? Because I can't see him on the screen, and I'm just asking permission to talk.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, talk.
See, this is why the gatekeeper thing ain't gonna make it, you know. Because this is what I'm trying to say. You see, I see it at certain events. It's like, just gonna keep it real. If you're white and you come into the thing and you start whining or doing whatever, black people cheer it on like, and I'm like, she wasn't busting, bro. What she did was not all that, bro. But we just give that kind of that support just by default. We always do it. Like it's like when the white guy starts dancing or the white girl starts twerking or whatever else, but in the back of our mind we know it's an idiot thing. We know they ain't making it. We know they ain't cutting it. Because if a black girl did the same thing, you'd be like, what are you doing, bruv? Like that's why the gatekeeper thing we don't even know how to separate parody from talent. You with me? Now, if you want to just kind of give them support because it's comic relief and it's funny, then that's fine. But be very clear. But then don't be praising it up like they're on levels with someone that's truly talented and from our culture and doing this thing. And sometimes we do kind of blur the lines on that. And this is why they find it quite easy and comfortable to come along and start doing these things like what you just said about Mr. White Chocolate. And it will continue to happen. It happens with rap. I'm going to call it the Eminem effect. Like, you know, and I'll say one more thing. A lot of, side note, I know some people won't like me. Potter Paper, I like him. He's a good rapper. But brothers, let's be honest. Some of you guys are just breading him just because. And we know why you're doing it. It's the Eminem effect. It's something that a lot of us just do by default. That's not me saying I don't like him, because I do. But some of us, we bred these people just because, like, and I don't know if it's because you think you're going to get a leg up maybe, or you're going to get a feature, or you're going to get, I don't know, but it's funny style. And some of us can see it for what it is. Yeah, so that's always going to be a problem. And until we deal with that, and that's a mental thing, there's no such thing as black gatekeepers, because we leave the gate open all the time. We're giving out free cookout passes every day.
Sure.
Just work. That's the question.
Like, it's so deep here. It's so deep. Eminem could be a black leader. Tell me I'm lying.
He could, for real.
Because
nobody's disputing
we're giving out cookout passes. We're giving out cookout passes. And a lot of you watching this now, if you're in the industry, you're not going to say this on no podcast, because you know that might affect your streaming, or someone might not want to work with you no more, and whatever else. Like, you're playing the politics game now. So gatekeeper, don't even have to be gatekeeper of their own yard.
I do want to be clear though and say that nobody here is saying that anybody that doesn't necessarily is not Jamaican or Caribbean or whatever cannot be part of the culture. What we're saying is there needs to be a standard. There needs to be a level. There needs to be a level now. This is acceptable. Yeah. This is the line. This is acceptable. And this is not. And if it's not acceptable, we're not going to accept it.
All right. For example, Sorosay, I would presume you're a little older than myself. I'm sure you played the game Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Right. You know, when you swing one box, it's a certain level of strength. But when a white person does it in our thing, it's almost like 3 times as much as what we do, because we give them that much praise. It's the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a wee problem.
But then
we need to kind of be a bit more in control of things.
Like I'm saying? I don't want us to sit down and just say problem, 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 problem with zero solutions. And, and
I
we
know
need
what the
to
solution.
speak about
I know what the
solutions.
solution is. I know what the solution is.
Give me the
Stop treating
solution, bro.
Jamaica. Stop treating Jamaica like a retirement home. Start investing from it from early. Don't decide that you're going to go live in Jamaica just because you're getting old and you got your retirement money and you want to go there for go live.
But that,
Invest from
agree.
early.
that's on gatekeeping are two different. I think that is two different.
No, it's not. It's two different things.
I'm telling you why, because going to Jamaica and retire and then having respect for Jamaican culture enough for people not to enter. They are two
Yeah, but
separate
you've got to
arguments.
have the financial clout. You've got to have the financial clout to punish people. You can't do that if
No,
you're
no,
only
no, no,
treating Jamaica.
no. You don't have to have the financial clout to punish people. You
You
have
you
to.
do. You do,
No, no,
because
no,
I'll
because
explain it.
this is what I'm saying. You
We're
don't
talking
have to
about two different
there,
things. I can already tell. We're talking about
no,
two different things.
but look at it. Most cultures with gatekeeping, they didn't start with financial clout.
We're not talking about what they started with, sir.
Most cultures started to gatekeep with an understanding that our culture is important to us, and we let people have standards before they come in. There was no
Okay.
money involved in the original parts. When the samurai started in Japan in the Edo period, there was no money involved. When the Hawaiian people start with their culture, there was no money involved. Gatekeeping does not require financial clout. It requires a
Well,
covenant and an understanding and pride in the culture. Because
well,
I can prevent someone from coming in without any money being involved if all of us
you
work
can,
together.
but notice what I said before I made that statement. I did say what we allow people to do in the culture. That's what I said before I mentioned finance. So it's neither here or there whether it requires finance or whatnot. But what I am saying is, in terms of what a solution is, in terms of like other people, maybe not certain people that are gatekeepers at a certain stage, just a regular person, start investing in Jamaica from earlier, because then you've got more control over things. Now, whether we want to debate whether that's financial or not is semantics, tomato, tomato. What I am saying though is a lot of us, even now, a lot of us are speaking from a helpless position. We're not in control of any events that happen in Jamaica. We're not in control of what artist works with
No,
who, X, Y, Z.
I am in control in some events in Jamaica. I'm a part of
Yeah,
some community.
you. This is another
No,
thing.
people on the
I'm
live
not
too.
talking
People on the
about you
live too.
specifically.
Some of my people, allow me to speak. Some of my people are on here, and there are some of us on here who have events in Jamaica that no foreign DJ gets to. We don't, I'm going to say she's going to come up. When we have our dance and certain events, we don't have a foreign person to come and DJ. If we have a dancehall event or a soca or amapiano, we
Rightly
don't
so.
let a foreigner. The only person who comes and perform at our amapiano events are South Africans, because that is where amapiano is from. And
Rightly
if you're
so.
having an Afrobeat party, Afrobeat people. So that, even though it's even a small way, I'm waiting for her to comment. We have a little organization where we say, okay, these events in this part of Jamaica, we are not going to allow. And that's what you start with. You start with it small and then it expands slowly. Once
Right,
people realize
right,
that now come true.
right.
But it has
But
started.
but this is the point. We're talking about different things in certain parts, because I don't have no point in contention with what you're saying, because you even said it. You started small and it grew, and there's more of you in this group, as you've just pointed out. What I'm talking about though, because again, we're talking about we. That we could mean anyone. I didn't even know these people you was talking about until you mentioned it. But what I'm talking about is, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm in the UK right now, a lot of people that are in the conversation, because I didn't know about you, a lot of people in the conversation, they're people who, they're doing exactly what I just said. They're treating Jamaica like a retirement home. You with what I'm trying to say? Would you not agree that some people are doing that?
Yes,
In
I
terms
agree.
of,
But I just
right,
don't
and
see how you can make the connection from, but I don't see how treating Jamaica as a retirement home and practicing gatekeeping are mutually exclusive. I don't see how you can.
then allow me to explain, because a lot of the people that are having this conversation regarding Jada Kingdom and regarding M. Dot and Steph London from the Ivory Tower in London, which isn't really an ivory tower, they're making the conversation from a helpless position. They're not in the same position that you're in. With what I'm trying to say. So those people, in order for them to have a bit more of an impact, I would advise that, like I said, they invest in Jamaica, or more specifically, invest in you and liaise with you and make those kind of distinctions and discussions. But when you just speak from the perspective that a lot of people are speaking from regarding ENDOT, they're in a helpless position. That's what I'm talking about. So when I say the we, I don't necessarily mean that includes you. I'm just being very specific to people that are in the UK speaking from that perspective, because that's what a lot of people are doing right now. There's a lot of people that's in the UK right now speaking about Jamaica like they're experts, and they're speaking about it as if to say the word is law, but you're in a helpless position. You have no stake in what's going on in Jamaica to be able to make that distinction, which is why people are working with MDO or not working with them. Maybe you would work with him, maybe you wouldn't, but that's a decision that you're able to make because you're in a position to do so. So you're not a spectator, you're very much a participant in it. So I just want you to know, I'm not disagreeing with your point.
Yeah,
And
I know.
I'm very happy, because sometimes discussions like this,
Yes.
things get misconstrued
Of course.
very easily with social media. And I like to give context all the time. So I'm not saying you specifically, but a lot of the people speaking, you know, and in fact, to be honest, I would dare say that when you saw this M. Dot and Steph London J, the Kingdom thing, when you saw it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you saw it and said, yeah, whatever. And you carried on doing your thing because you're on things. Would I be right in assuming that?
Yes, I found it to be very stupid.
Exactly. And that's my point. So again, I'm agreeing with you, brother. I'm just letting you know that, like I said, a lot of people, they like to speak about Jamaica from a passive perspective, and they're not doing, I'm not saying they're not doing anything at all, but they're not really making an impact and liaising with people like yourself.